Okay. Hey, everybody. Rorree here. All right. We are going to, well, first of all, welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe. All right. So, we are going to continue with our series on the four agreements. Okay. I've been enjoying this. This has been better than, reading the book over. So I found these little affirmation cards for the four agreements, and they're really awesome. They're to me, the cards have really been reinforcing life lessons. So I hope you have been tuning in. So anyway, first, we started this while we were doing a 16 days of raising our frequency and raising our vibration. And I initially shared some natural stones as a way to raise your frequency and raise your vibration. So the one I have on today is an ankh wrapped in copper, which is a nice conductive metal. And I got this ankh from Total You Prosperous Network on Instagram. And this stone is called Euphorolite, I believe. I believe it's called Euphorolite. All right. And I'm going to tell you what it's all about before I get started. All right. Let's see. Euphorolite. Natural stones. I'm trying to remember the names of them now because last week I was like, what's this one called again? All right, so Euphorolite. Okay, Euphorolite allows for lucid communication with one's true higher self. It is an excellent stone for communication, vision, intellect, enlightenment, and well-being. Euphorolite is a specimen that includes many different crystals and minerals. All right, so that is Euphorolite. So I've been wearing this today. When I did my meditation today, I wore this and it was really, really nice. And I also used this in a healing that I did today on myself. And I'll tell you guys about that later. Probably in the next video, I'll tell y'all about the other ankh that I use. And I got this ankh to use in my healing and wellness practice. So anyway, so now let's get to these little cards. All right, so this one, it says, it's coming from the agreement, don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. And you know what that's all about. To me, all of the agreements really, really assist you in having emotional mastery. I think that's one of the things that these agreements assist us with. And better communication, getting along with others. So I feel like these agreements are really, really good. You know, I was listening to Ralph Smart this morning. And when I listened to him, what he was sharing sounded like it comes from one of the agreements. The principles that he was sharing sound like it comes from one of the agreements. So I was like, wow, that sounds like what I was talking about last week. What was he talking about? He was talking about basically he was saying something about like if someone else, like how people always want to give their opinion about you and tell you what they think about you or whatever. And oftentimes what someone else thinks about you is really a reflection of them. And that's why sometimes I might say like, what you think about me is none of my business, because it really is probably a mirror for yourself. If you spend a whole lot of time analyzing somebody else, you're probably really, looking at yourself. You know, I've even had people that want to tell me things about me and I'm like, wow, when I look at it and read it, I'm like, wow, this person is, it sounds like they're talking about themselves, but they're talking about me. And oftentimes when a person talks about you and says negative things, or they might think it's negative or whatever the case may be, but what they're really doing is looking at aspects of you that they don't like within themselves. So they're seeing these things jump out at them, but in all actuality, it's like a reflection. They really need to look in the mirror and see, why do these things about that person bother me so much, and how do I relate to those things? Like, what is it within me that is very much like the things that I'm saying that is in you? So it's so important, because what other people think of you really is none of your business. It's their business. It's about their journey and what they are going through. So don't take it personally. So that's the key. You got to work on not taking things personally. Let me see if I can adjust this here a little bit. Okay. So this is coming from Don't Make Assumptions. And it says, communicate with clarity. Communicate with clarity. That's really important. Communicate with clarity. Let's see what it says. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. If all humans would communicate with impeccability, if with impeccability of the word, all of the relationships would change. Excuse me. There would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Communicate clearly to avoid drama, sadness, misunderstandings. And that is really, really key. Oftentimes I like to communicate after I've marinated on it a little bit, because you could say something, and it might have been too pointed or tactless, or it just might not have come out right. Sometimes after I think about things, I decide not to say anything at all, because, like, what difference would it make if I said this? This might be my stuff that I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? So I like that one. I'm going to read it again. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. If all humans would communicate with impeccability of the word, all of the relationships would change. There would be no wars, no violence, and no misunderstandings. All right. But I don't know if there would be no wars and all of that, because I'm not positive that wars are actually started because of miscommunication. I think some things are started on purpose and for a purpose, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, I kind of like that one. Communicate with clarity. I feel like that is key. Okay, so sometimes it's easier to communicate with clarity when you understand yourself in the first place. So, doing meditation, doing releasing, sometimes you need to release societal norms, societal views, other people's opinions. You need to release those things so that you can be fully who you are, and attuned to who you are, and so that you're relaying the right message, so that you're saying the right things, so that you're not, half cocked with what the words that are coming out of your mouth, and you can be more clear. Sometimes if you don't understand yourself, the information that you may deliver, especially if you're sharing something about somebody else or to someone else or whatever, the information might be a little off because you don't even know who you are. So those are my tidbits for that one for today. I'm trying to keep them a little bit shorter because I know I could go on and on and on, but that one was good. And I hope that was short and to the point with you. For the agreement, don't make assumptions and communicate with clarity. All right. All right, y'all. See you in the next one. Ashe.